And it is showtime. We are live. Okay, welcome. It is Tuesday. Thank goodness we're doing this video so you know what day of the week it is, right? Cheers. Ah, crap, I still forget. Cheers. And we got our special guest today is Yolanda Papapietro. So Yolanda, welcome to hang out with Ben and I on Tuesdays. I think Yolanda's typically stuck down in her own cellar, probably rating it a little better than us, answering everybody's comments on our Facebook and YouTube channel. So welcome, Yolanda. Yolanda picked the wine today, from my understanding. And Yolanda, what are we drinking?
We are drinking the 2012 777 clones. And the 12s are just some of my favorites. I just think that vintage was phenomenal. And these wines are, aging beautifully. They're a little earthier now that they've come this distance, but still bright acidity, bright fruit. I just love it. Just love it.
It is still has that nice fruit. Your daughter Julia is on, and Jonathan, of course. Thanks, Jonathan, for joining us.
Jonathan.
Hey.
Yeah.
Julia's in. I haven't seen Simone yet. Ian's popping in too, your sister. I love it. It's a family thing.
Well, it always has been. So.
Well, we don't get to see him as often as we'd like, so.
This is our new way to see everybody, isn't it? Okay, Simone's on now. Hello, parents. I don't know if that makes me chop liver, but whatever, Simone. Anyways, Ben, tell us a little bit about the 2012 777, and then I want to chat with Yolanda a little.
And again, the 2012 777, we've talked about the 777, that it's a combination of the 777 clone from 5 different locations. And in this 12, we had one vineyard that we're no longer working with. I think it was sold, and then I don't think it was kept up. So at the time we made this particular one, it was Peters, Laris, Nunes, Bucher, and Vinoy. Vinoy is no longer with us, but I mean Jim is, but his vineyard is
sketchy.
Yeah. So,
well, it's a terrific wine, and again, just the nose on it just sucks you right in.
I've got that swirl going after I watched your video.
I taught you, didn't I? Good job. We do a weekly update on Sundays on Facebook, also on our website, and I'm challenging you to the swirl. It is beautiful. The tannins are soft too. It's got a nice velvety finish, and it's anybody has any 12s, probably 11s and 13s could go along too. But you got the 12s, you got the tannins just kind of soften. You get that velvet finish, and so more of those darker fruits, and still some of the bright red fruits. Really,
the red fruits in there too, for sure. And then it has a sweet fruit still, so the fruit is holding up beautifully. And it's 8 years old, and we thought we would drink this through 2022. I think that'll last beyond that, but right now it's absolutely beautiful. The nose is very seductive.
The problem is we may not have any left by.
I was just gonna say, I don't know how much more we have.
We're dipping into our little library for sure.
Ben texted me earlier and told me that Yolanda was picking the wine today, and she was picking this because of her book club. And I'm not sure what those have to do with each other, but I'm going to ask in a second. So I immediately texted Dan in our back office and said, "Hey, Dan, if you could swing over to the warehouse and grab me a bottle." So, because I want to keep up with you. So I think we still have some Magnums available at the wine.
I think I'm going to grab one.
Yeah.
We were out of 750s. I was tempted to tell him to bring a mag, but I thought I might get in trouble for that one. So Yolanda, book club. What does the 12 777 have to do with book club?
Well, it includes the Nunes Vineyard, and Wendy Nunes is in our book club.
She's on right now too.
Shelley, Wendy, Nancy, and I. And so we try to drink some great wines when we're together, and just wanted to celebrate our friendship. And of course, the Laris family, and the Peters. We love all of these people. And
Van Noy, who's not gone yet.
No, and I don't know that family personally myself. Ben does, of course. But, I love, our relationship with our growers, and just, true friendship. So it's been a delight.
Well, here, cheers.
Includes so many. Yeah.
Cheers to friends. And Yolanda, what book are you reading?
Pardon me?
What book are you reading?
Oh, we're reading actually City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. And I'm sure everybody's done except me. So I'm a little behind, but the pandemic's given me a little time. So I
catch up.
And catch up. That's
and today, just a note, because usually the fruit is above my head on the pictures on the wall. And today we decided to take it outside for some fresh air. It stopped raining. It's a beautiful day today. So we're out in our backyard where half of my face is getting suntanned.
I think you were jealous because I went outside last week, but that's because they were replacing my water heater. I was forced outside.
A very windy day, right?
Well, Ben, what book are you reading?
Well, I actually I'm reading right now, Cooking for Picasso.
Nice.
Yeah, so a very interesting, sensual book about that crazy man.
Well, nice. I am reading Articulate Expressions of Technical Mathematics.
Oh,
I'm on chapter 7.
And that is related to your children's homeschooling, I see.
I Googled a fancy sounding "make me look smart" book earlier, and I thought that would impress people.
Impressed, yes.
I am sure it worked. All right, so I got a couple questions. So Yolanda, you obviously been working with us forever, and right now you work with our distributors,
right?
Your wine dinners. For the lay folk out there, what does that mean? What is a distributor?
Well, yeah, our distributors are located throughout, several different states, and they help us sell our wine to restaurants primarily. And we do winemaker dinners around the country, and they generally set them up for us. And I have talks and discuss the wines that we drink, and we have a fantastic time together. It's all fun. It gives me an opportunity to meet not only club members, but people that are newly interested in Pinot Noir. So it's fantastic.
You meet a lot of our club members, a lot of our people out there. I actually get emails letting me know what an amazing job you're doing.
Well, we have fun with it. And, fortunately, we drink all the wines. We have the Rosé, the Chardonnay, and the Pinots and Zins. So it's not just Pinot. We really do a nice variety throughout these dinners. So,
and she's a great representative for me when I can't go there, because a lot of the dinners we do happen during harvest,
right?
And so Yolanda gets a stand in for me, and she does a great job.
Yeah, because you've got to work harvest. But Yolanda, you've worked harvest, right? When you guys were in the garage in San Fran.
Well, yes and no.
I didn't know about this.
When we first started making wine, or when Ben started making wine, Julia was probably 3, and or even.
Let me pop up a quick little picture.
And
I have a picture here of let's go this one. I don't think she's 3 there.
Yeah, she was probably 4 or 5 there.
I don't know. I think she was
4.
3.
Yeah, maybe.
That's Julia in the front with the strainer.
Yeah, and that back child is my nephew, Treon Jr. So what happened was I needed somebody to hold the strainer while we were pressing the grapes, and no one was around, and Yolanda was tending to Simone, who was colicky or just born, just born. And so Yolanda couldn't help me. So I drafted Julia, and Julia sat there very, very sweetly and held that strainer for an hour or 2. And then finally she said, "Dad,
can I go to bed?
I need to go to." I said, 10 more minutes, please."
Well, and look at that fancy strainer. That is true winemaking apparatuses.
That was an apple press, the first press of William Sellium, Bert Williams. And when he bought his newer press, he sold me that press. That was the first wine press that I owned.
Yeah. Well, here's another quick picture I have too, which if you've been to the winery, this picture is now out on our patio.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a great one. What does that go from left to right? That's Ben, Renee, that's Simone.
Yeah, Simone, yeah.
Simone's in Renee's holding her. That's Bruce looking like he's working, not in a white shirt for once. And then Julia, who likes to say she was employee numero uno.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, those are the 2 first. Yeah, that first 2 employees were Julia and Simone. They both worked for me in my cellar in San Francisco.
And now they drink for you now. It's great. Yeah. That's it.
I remember them if Ben had to go somewhere, he'd ask the girls to punch down at the house the grapes were in these blue barrels. So they'd be punching down, and they just thought that was one of their chores. That's part of living. And sure enough, we made some great wine in the basement.
Yeah, but we also almost stunk ourselves out because so there was so much CO2 escaping because we were doing like 4 or 5 tons of fruit in the basement. And so we'd have to roll up towels and stick them under the door leading to the basement so that the fumes wouldn't come up. But
so that's why they have towels under all their doors today.
That maybe
they just think that's what you're supposed to do.
Right. That could be so.
They call them door snakes now, though.
Okay, I was wondering when I went to their house. I thought it was strange, but I don't want to say anything. I'm completely kidding.
Well, we had a lot of fun with it, and their friends and the parents of their friends who used to come and visit us were amazed.
Yeah, we give barrel samples to anyone. The girls would all be upstairs waiting for dinner again. Come on, guys, let's go down and taste some wine. So I'd go with my thief and steal some Pinot from one of the barrels, and everybody had a great time. We had so much fun doing that, and we did that from 1980 through 1997 till we did our first vintage right up here in 1998.
Yeah. Now I have a question now that I'm thinking about it, listening to you guys talk. So we did a 6 years of Laris tasting a few years ago where Nick Laris was there telling us stories. And he told us stories on how he used to steal his dad's juice, put it in bottles, sell it under the bleacher at the high school.
Oh.
No, Julie and Simone are on. Julie and Simone, I wonder, or Ben, if you know and you've never told them, do you think they ever took any of your wine, sold it off, drank it without you knowing, shared it with their friends?
I could say without too much equivocation that I would doubt that very much. Simone being 9 and Julia being 12, I don't think so.
All right.
But today, Simone stayed at our house for 2 weeks before she came up here in quarantine, where the cellar is still pretty full, or maybe not quite as full.
I heard it's empty.
In.
I heard she said you needed to clean it out. Julia said she never did.
No.
That's only because Julia was 12.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, Julia. And so then, Yolanda, from my understanding, if I'm correct, Ben was working at the newspaper. You had your kids. Oh, Simone said she's always asked, and you said she could help herself at home.
Yes. Oh, definitely now.
Well,
yes.
she lived there.
Now you can. Now you can, Simone. Simone, go in the cellar. They're both on TV. They cannot even know what you're doing. They're outside too. They can't hear you. Anyways, Yolanda, you went ahead and got a job, right?
Excuse me, that
you went and got a job. Sorry, I switched.
Oh, yes, I got a job. Well, I was always working at something.
We catered, we bartended. I bartended and cooked.
I just want to warn you that just came in.
Oh,
okay. Well, yeah, so we always had a couple of different things going on. Ben was always making wine. However, we also supplemented his very expensive hobby with he bartended, I cooked, I did catering for a friend.
We catered, yeah.
I worked at a grocery store for a number of years, even a hardware store.
I had with my dad.
And then eventually I went into the insurance industry and did that for over 20 years. So.
And then, so you went, and I think we did an earlier story where you went into the insurance industry.
Yes.
And the girls had to get used to Ben being at home cooking dinners.
That's right.
Right, because you were the casserole queen.
Yes, and he now they're spoiled, and he hasn't quit. He's still cooking. So, which I love. I'm absolutely happy about that.
And we may be doing some cooking in the future. Some things we can whip up in a short half program.
Did you just say you're not?
Oh, I'll participate. I'll peel the potatoes. You know, that's kind of.
I'll prep too. I'm totally good with prepping. I don't make that. I cook for kids. What can I say about that? Not too excited. Oh, Shelley's agreeing, Ben. You are a fantastic cook. So the other day, well, what was it? On our weekly update? Oh no, last Thursday. I don't know what day it is. Chatting with you guys after, and you mentioned, and I didn't know this, that you guys got married twice.
Yes.
The same person. Yeah, it's the same person.
Well, yeah, my bad. You are correct. And you're still together. This is amazing. And talking to each other. Look at this.
Right. We did get married in 1976 during the snowstorm in San Francisco.
2676. It was snowing on the Marin Headlands, and these two smart guys decided that's when we needed to elope to Tahoe.
Oh, yeah, that was smart. That was very, very smart.
Right. So, of course, it was a blizzard by the time we got there. I was with my sister and her husband at the time, Ron Kinsella, Ben's best friend, who I had actually met Ben when I was 14.
I love telling people this.
And so they used to call me bird legs as they waved.
When she was 14.
We picked up her sister, who's the same age as I am. My best friend was dating her sister, and so we'd pick Ann up on the way out, and we'd wave at Yolanda. Hello, Yolanda. There's the kid.
Or hello, bird legs.
And so we were friends, and we'd see each other quite a bit through, all the get-togethers with friends. Oh yeah, there's my sister. She was there. And so about when I was in my early 20s, we finally got together. But I just remember the one time we met Ben and Phil Franzella, and we went dancing at the Ark in Sausalito, which is, of course, no longer. But at that time, I just thought Ben was the coolest guy ever.
Did you just roll your eyes, Ben? I should have downloaded the photo of you two where, Yolanda, you're so sassy standing there. Ben, you're sitting there. Oh, crap, I should have downloaded that photo. You guys were quite the pair.
So what happened was, my mother wanted a big wedding and we wanted a small family wedding. So we couldn't come to terms. So we decided to go to Nevada and get married, elope. So save everybody a lot of trouble. And so we went up in the snowstorm, got married. That night we saw Ike and Tina Turner Review at Harrah's. And then some months later, a friend of ours, a priest who was a friend of ours, family friend, came to our front room and married us in front of the parents.
Yeah, and the grandparents. My grandfather was alive. So we had just our immediate family there in the living room. It was really lovely.
So that was 44 years ago. Yikes.
Very nice. Well, congratulations to both of you.
Oh.
Cheers. We're cheersing a lot today. This is fantastic. No, you guys are a great couple. I love hanging out with you guys. I love listening to your stories as well.
We love to drink wine. That's what this whole thing was all about, is to drink some wine. And then who knew that this little hobby that was started in our house in San Francisco was going to turn out to be Papapietro Perry, and we're celebrating 22 years in business.
Yeah, amazing. It just amazes us. Yeah.
You guys are amazing. And so you guys do wine dinners together, of course, throughout the country.
Right.
And we also do cruises, not this year, unfortunately, but we've done our wine cruises. And I am told to ask Yolanda, what is your favorite cruise?
Well,
and then I guess you can answer the question too.
Well, I mean, I loved our Australia cruise. That was a terrific cruise. We had, I believe, 75 people with us. We went from Sydney all the way to New Zealand, across the Tasman.
She's only saying that because I told her I wasn't on her favorite cruise. You can say what your real favorite cruise is.
My favorite cruise was Venice to Athens. I thought that was a terrific cruise. We had close to 100 people with us. It was 90-something people. It was the inaugural cruise of the Oceania Riviera, which we were supposed to be on again this year.
We slept on the bed that nobody else had slept on before on a ship, which, yikes.
It was beautiful. And the weather was terrific. I mean, the stops were amazing. And, that was what we had hoped for in the coming month. But our plans have changed.
Michael Corcoran's on, and Danielle. Well, hello, guys. They were. You guys, I'm assuming, were on the Athens cruise. They were supposed to come on this recent cruise.
This is very sad. We would have been leaving in a week or so for Spain, then meet everybody in Barcelona, go from Barcelona to Athens. Spent almost 2 years planning this trip. We had 130 people set up to go with us, and very disappointing for everybody. I mean, I don't see us traveling for a while now because it takes so long to plan a trip like this and get all the cats going in the same direction. It's not that easy. So, and we want to thank Food Wine Trails for the excellent work they've done for us, so.
Yeah,
I'll tell you right now, the comments are coming in. We need to travel again. And Simone, I agree with you. That's why I told your mom that wasn't my favorite cruise, because her and I were not there. Oh yeah, David, which my wife and I were scheduled for. See, look, I'm telling you, man, people want to cruise again.
Well, we have some ideas, and God willing,
we just want to travel safe.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing. Yeah,
and we want everyone to be well and really enjoy it.
Yes.
So,
and we don't want to have to do Papapietro Perry logoed masks.
Right.
We're really hoping.
It's tough enough wearing our little our name tags, which is
lanyards are good. Oh my God. We could do that. We could do the mask and also put your name on there. One of those
straw that goes to.
It's got to be a hole for the straw.
It's got to be a hole for. I saw that on Wendy Nunez. I saw that on her Facebook.
That was very cute.
Michael saying Australia, New Zealand. Thank you, Michael. I think that was a phenomenal cruise.
Yeah, really was.
As well. Oh, you know what? They're so much fun to travel with. It's such a great group. We have great wine club members. We have great people. We have great wines.
Well, the beauty is that we've made, you don't expect to, but it happens. You make incredible friendships. When I think of how many people that we absolutely love and that we get to see more often, and really, truly, it's because of the cruises where we met for the first time. And they're delightful people. They have a love for wine and food. We have so much in common. And we get together. It's like not a day has passed. It's just back to our wonderful friendship that we created on those cruises.
So we're
not tired of each other after.
Excuse me?
And we're not tired of each other after. No. We still want to hang out after. I'm tired of my family after a few weeks. I say that because I don't think any of my family's on here.
So you can say that, but
right now, yes.
And we've been fortunate enough to not only be with friends from the cruise, but also even the musician Vincenzo, who we absolutely love. He's a talented artist, and he's come out to visit, and we love visitors. So we want to encourage people that whether you know us or not, come and visit us when the time is, when the time comes.
I was reading today in the Press Democrat, they're looking at how they're going to open wineries soon. And we are very blessed. We have a huge, amazing patio. Yeah. And so hopefully we may be able to open for our visitors by appointment, whatnot, to share wines with us. And of course, if you do come visit, let us know. We were able to regale you with our stories on here too. Super cool. We miss everybody. We just had to cancel our Chardonnay lobster dinner. We've had to cancel our spring wine club party. We miss everybody. Part of the fun of working in this business is seeing our familiar faces, meeting new ones, creating these relationships and these bonds. And that is one thing both the Papapietros and the Perrys, from my mindset, are great at. You guys are just so warm and welcoming. You make everybody feel included. And really, you just want to raise a glass with everybody.
Right.
We just have fun. The idea was we did this to begin with, to have a good time, and without being too serious about it, we aren't. Is that we love to have a good time, so we throw lots of fun parties. We love good travels and good friends,
and drink great wine. We just have so much fun with that.
Well, and it's worked because it actually comes through with everything. And I'm sure, I've had a couple of people commented here that, Yolanda, they've met you out and about at your wine dinners, the wine tastings. You do pourings as well throughout the country. And like I said, people let me know you do a great job, which I think is really kind of cute because you're my boss. I have no say. I absolutely love the fact that people are reporting back and look. I know, Michael, we are very sad we're not going. I absolutely agree. Laura had posted something I wanted to comment on, and I just got to find it again. She mentioned something about a food and wine pairing, and Ben and Yolanda, you both touched on that. We are going to do that. We just have to figure out how, and if some of the social distancing guidelines are going to lift, we're going to be able to get together us internally and do some videos and do some cooking. So I am all for some cooking ideas too.
Yes.
Yeah, things that go with the wine, the things that we love to eat with the wines that we make, and kind of fun. The idea is sometimes they get a little too take a little too many steps, and we'll go right through a half an hour. And so we may have to do some preliminary.
What's the thing? We got to do some, R&D. It's called research and development. I do want to bring up the fact that you have been making wine, not professionally. That's not the right word. Not legally. That's not the right word. But I guess as the Papapietro Perry label for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. And you did create a sparkling wine at one point.
We did. To celebrate our 20th anniversary, we made a sparkling wine from the Peters Vineyard. It happened by happenstance. We were walking through the vineyard. It was a pretty big crop, and we were looking to drop a little bit of the fruit. And we dropped some fruit. We took some samples, and when we got back to the winery, it was exactly what you would look for sparkling wine. So instead of dropping a fruit, we had Randy lighten the load a lot, and we bought that to make sparkling wine.
Yeah,
and it turned out pretty well.
By dropping the fruit, he means usually when you're in the vineyards and you're going through, towards the end of the harvest, you're kind of eyeballing the fruit, you're looking at the sugars, looking at whatnot, and you may literally cut fruit off and drop it on the ground because it enables the grapes that are on the vine to receive still all the love and such. And so you just drop it on the ground, it gets tilled back in. Normally you do that, but in 2012, the vintage was so great that you went ahead and made a sparkling wine. And because we did 1 year of it, we thought we would bring back the old original label before we were Papapietro Perry, which was Bacchus, right?
Well, it was Renee's cousin who is a graphic artist, and we had never met. He's on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. And so she was saying that Bruce used to write the date on the cork, and we'd get lost, and he didn't know what the hell he had. And I had these
crazy.
I had these labels that I had made before I met with before Bruce joined me, so I was using that. So she said, "Well, I'll get my cousin to draw up a little label, Papapietro Perry." And little did I know, 25 years later, I'm going to look like the guy that he drew.
Well, I screwed up. I did not download a copy of the original label, but when Ben and I were first into these Facebook Lives and these videos shots, one holiday, Dan in the back office and I went over to Ben and Yolanda's house, and we decided to do a little introduction of the sparkling video. And Bacchus, if you know who Bacchus is, I think he's the god of wine, right? So it's this guy, he's got this grape wreath on his head, he's wearing a toga, he's carrying his basket of grapes. And so Dan was relatively new, if I remember correctly. First time at Ben and Yolanda's house. We went to the house, and Ben opens the door in this. Let me find it, and there he is. Which...
The toga, yes.
What toga?
Out of Dan.
What's that?
I scared the hell out of Dan.
Thank God he's still employed. We had so much fun doing this little video, and I have just a couple more little clips which are quite comical. Yolanda was having a hard time. We had to write everything down for her.
I know, and I kept messing it up anyway.
47,000 outtakes.
Yeah, we had a lot of outtakes.
But little did I know, Ben was used to wearing a toga, because look at this.
Yes.
That's a whole other time.
Now, that was some time ago. That was probably at least 12 or
I don't know. It's either a toga or a sausage skin. I'm not sure.
Kristen, for our next club party, when life gets back to where we were expected to be, let's have a toga party.
I'm going to need
we should have a toga party. They've already got their club. Oh, Michael wants it for the next cruise. I say we do both.
Sure. Bring a costume for the cruise. That sounds like a good idea. I used to do that in the old days, with the cruises. I'd have a costume parties. Pardon me?
You used to do costume parties on the cruises?
Costume parties, yes.
My mom and dad cruised for like 40 years or 30 years. They did 30, 40 cruises. They used in that day, they were actually on the Love Boat, the first Love Boat. And they would do, yeah, well, they would do these costume parties. So everybody would bring a costume, and they would do that. They don't do that anymore, but now they don't even do dress ups. Like when we go on the Oceana, there's no more tuxedos. It's, I like that better.
But we could still do a toga party. Come on.
We'll do one. Probably gonna have our next party in the fall, is my thought, because of summer. So maybe we will do a toga party, because that could be a lot of fun. This has been fun, and I'm looking at the time, and I'm thinking we didn't give much love to this 12777, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's a delight.
Way more fun listening to you guys tell your stories. And Ben, I want to congratulate you for not crowding out Yolanda during this.
I told her I would do this if she spent too much time.
We were out here for a little bit earlier chatting, and I'm just watching the thing move left and right. Yeah, see, that's what I'm seeing most of the time. But good job, Ben. Thank you.
And thank you very much.
Yolanda, we always love chatting with you. You guys have great stories. Cheers to you both. Wait, I was told, unfortunately our brute is sold out. Oh, my bad.
What?
So unfortunately our brute is sold out, that we were just talking about the sparkling. This is sold out except for the magnums are available. And then
fabulous wine.
17,777 though. I mean, hello, just got 92 points. Not that I care too much about points, but I love what's in the glass. So I liked it already. And Thursday, Ben and I are back on here. It is National Chardonnay Day. So we're going to start off with Chardonnay. I think he's going to rate his cellar for Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Right. You're going to get an older vintage.
I'm going to try an older one. Yeah. If I can dig one up.
I guess we'll be on our toes. And then we're going to be actually side by side and kind of having fun with a 2014 Laris and a 2017 Laris, which we do have availability. So if you don't have them, you want them, you can go online and order them. Hopefully they get to you in time. But yeah, we're going to be drinking those together on Thursday. We look forward to seeing everybody. And thank you again for joining us. Thanks, Ben. Thanks.
Cheers.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, no, that way.
We got to figure out where to go.
Cheers, everybody.